Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to Kicking Attitude, best podcast you're not watching. Hopefully some people are coming over from that wonderful interview that Jess and John just did.
Was it Jess and John or just John?
I thought it was just going to be John, but Jess was on it too.
Oh, okay.
Sorry if I look a little weird here. I got a new computer and just kind of last minute started setting everything up because I'm a genius. Anyway, welcome to Kicking Attitude. It gives it's great advertisement every Monday night on Netflix. Who's going to raise
Hi,
their
Grace.
prices?
We can see you.
Screw them. Hi, Grace. Well, you know, Jess has a mascot, so do we.
All right.
There you go. I decided I don't have a fancy logo for it right now. I will the next time, I promise.
Okay.
We have been talking about a way to be different because we are starting to do things with other people, and there's a bunch of review shows out there, and so I feel like we don't need to go beat for beat anymore. I don't think that's something we need to do. Personally, I think it's boring anyway. I don't know about you, but sitting here reading through results of the thing we watched that people probably also watched.
That's fair.
Are we on?
I don't know. I mean,
Usually
yeah, we're good.
Okay. It says offline on my screen, so I was just making sure.
Oh, I mean, we're streaming.
Okay. All right. Well, as long as we're streaming, I'm good. Anyway, so what I decided is we're going to take one of our TikTok little gimmicks and we're going to make it part of the weekly show.
Okay.
So we are going to have the 1, 2, 3 count.
Let's just be clear. You're gonna have to tell me all of this again Thursday because I'm probably not gonna remember it.
That's fine. You're high. I get it. No. So rather than going beat for beat for Raw or SmackDown or whatever it is, when we have our show, we're just going to pick 3 things that we want to discuss that happen in wrestling. You guys have watched it. You have probably watched the other shows that have talked about what happened on those shows. If you didn't watch those shows, no reason for us to go beat for beat as well. Before we get into the show, though, I do want to say Tori is not feeling 100% today. Are you okay? Everything all right?
Yeah.
Shoulder feeling better?
Not really.
Not really.
Steroid shots burn, and then it's just uncomfortable.
I hear you. I've never had them, but I've had the medicated version that you swallow, and it felt weird as hell for hours. Like I wasn't aware that you were supposed to give me a medicine that made me feel like I was going to have a heart attack, but apparently. So before we get into it, do you want to do the 3 count first? Do you think that's something we should do at the start of a show, or do you feel like that should be the main event? That's the thing we end the show.
Yeah, I'm not the one to make that decision right now.
Fair
enough. We're just keeping it 100, you know.
All right. Well, then I will go through the news. There's a lot of news going on in wrestling right now. TNA Genesis just happened. Jordynne Grace is seemingly departing. Like her contract's done, and they had this whole ceremony, gave her a belt, called her the Forever Champ.
Props to her for bypassing Tessa Blanchard, that racist bitch.
Yeah, that was a bit of newsworthy there too, wasn't it?
It was so good.
2 specific spots that I saw in there. Like one, she was on the top rope, and the other one, like they were doing some stuff on the steel steps. And good lord, those fans were loud. And that's all you heard. I saw someone post on Twitter yesterday, name this tag team, and had the 2 of them together, and I said, "Team No Thanks." That's a good.
She probably would have said the same thing too.
But FIFO has confirmed that Grace's contract expires January 2025, so here in just 9-10 days, that contract would
I'm
be done.
telling you, I don't think it matters if that contract's up or not. There's not a chance in hell she's not showing up at the Rumble.
No, not at all. In fact, actually, um, Joe Hendry was on the Busted Open podcast. I don't know if you saw that, but he did an interview with
Didn't.
them, um, which we'll talk a little bit here in a minute because there is a very noteworthy thing to talk about in that. But he did actually talk a little bit specifically about the contract and all that, and like it's an interesting combination of what they're doing here, because it's not necessarily like TNA and NXT are just going to mix.
Right.
It's literally like they are working to help each other the best that they can. I know people were worried that it's going to be like WWE's going to run in there and we're going to get like a WWE light product. No, TNA is still going to be TNA. They're not.
I would hope not.
They're not. They're not incorporating them into the business. They're partnering with them to make it beneficial for both sides. Josh Alexander apparently quit.
I think his deal was up too.
It's close. I think they're using it to have some sort of story about it, because he was in the ring. He congratulated Santana, told him he was the new face of TNA. He's the new heart of TNA. But then they did a little bit afterwards where Santino reminded him that he still had a few dates left that he had to show up for. So the fact that they put that on camera, I'm guessing they're doing a little story with it on the way out. Might be kind of fun. But it also might not be a story because another thing that happened with TNA is PCO showed up at GCW and apparently lost his fucking mind.
Apparently, so what I read is he told him he was doing something to further a TNA storyline, and then just went into business for his damn self.
Yeah,
and they tried to pull him off the state out of the ring, basically.
Yeah, which is why the show ended so abruptly, because they got they had refs in there, they had a couple of the backstage people in there trying to get him to stop and get in the back. But yeah, the whole story that we've seen right now is that first of all, PCO's contract expired at the end of 2024, so he's been without a contract this entire time. PCO has said himself that he has turned down other companies. I guess assuming that he was
claimed he's turned down AEW 3 times.
Yeah.
Please, nobody's believing that. They're not using Wardlow. The fuck makes you think they're going to use you?
He was set to finish up the next set of TNA tapings in San Antonio and then be done. But apparently he was not happy with that. So PCO being upset about that, he decided he was going to talk about how great he was for TNA, I guess, saying that he, sold merch more than anybody else and did better ratings and sold out arenas based on him being on the card, and then sledgehammer to death the global title, or the internet title, basically. I forget what they called it. Digital media.
Look, Virgil, I need you to calm down, because no one has ever bought a ticket to see you. Never. Even when you were part of the Quebecers or whatever the fuck the team name was. No one has ever bought a ticket going, oh, that guy's going to... No, they haven't. I've sold more tickets than you have, okay?
He was in a main event deal with Bret Hart, and nobody cared because it was all about him stealing a jacket and then kissing a foot. Absolutely crazy. There's a former world champ likely retiring. Christopher Daniels had what was reportedly his last match. Great match. And if that's it was a great way to go out.
Right.
He lost a Texas Death Match to Hangman Page.
And he got his ass whooped.
Over his career, he's worked for pretty much all the promotions: AEW, New Japan, ROH, TNA, WWE, and a litany of other things. It's crazy the career he's had, and the career he could have had.
Wait, wasn't his WWE run like 45 seconds?
Yeah, it wasn't huge.
Wasn't he there for like one promo?
So he was there for some side work. I know that. On the mic for something. I think he wasn't the lawyer. That was Tommaso. But it was one of those things where they needed somebody.
Mordecai or whatever, that he was supposed to be the...
No, he was supposed to be the higher power for the ministry.
Oh, okay.
And Vince was like, no, he's too small. So then that's when they pivoted and made it him. That's what I'm saying. Like, the career he could have had, if he would have been the mastermind between the corporate ministry, that could have been great.
He would have...
There's some news
I do feel like we need to shout out to Allie Katch with her broken leg.
Yep, that was actually on my docket to talk about. She underwent a successful surgery. She actually got let to go home here recently. She had a funny little tweet about the fact she's a fall risk.
She walked out of her hospital room.
Yeah. She's a beast.
That's because the doctor was like 6 months or something like that. And she was like, oh okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she walked out and he's like, maybe sooner.
Yeah. Steph DeLander has set up a GoFundMe for her. So if anybody feels the desire to help her out, indie wrestlers need help. Unfortunately, there's not a union for it, damn it. But
she gave a big shout out to Steph DeLander too, who I guess was there with her through all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tom Pestock. It's not a name you may know, but
formerly known as
Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin showed up in GCW. Decided he was going to have a fight with the man himself. Decided they were going to have a little blood sport match. Damn good fight. I watched a few clips of it, and it was damn good. It was good to see Tom doing the stuff that he actually knows how to do that we never got to see, because that man's a black belt. Like, he is a badass, and we never really got to see that. So seeing him in there against Josh Barnett, and unfortunately it was a losing effort. He got caught in a knee bar. But damn good match. He's already said he's going to be back. He had a great following in the crowd yelling, please come back. So it looks like he has a home that he might be able to go to, which I'm very glad for. Lastly in the news, Joe Hendry did that wonderful interview. And the news that comes out of that is he invited John Cena to TNA. Because John Cena decided to retweet the TNA logo after everybody was retweeting it. And he was like, you know what? You're going for that 17th world title. I have a world title right here.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. During the appearance on Busted Open Radio, Hendry issued a challenge to John Cena expressing admiration for Cena and recounting a personal story of Cena's kindness during his teenage years. He does believe that him and Cena could help elevate TNA together. And he also said flat out, he's like, I think I can run toe-to-toe with him on the mic. Because you guys haven't seen the tip of what I can do on the mic yet. And he's right. I've seen stuff that before TNA, back when he was in some of the promotions overseas, and like in the I think he was in ICW for a little bit, and he was in What Culture Wrestling for a while, and the stuff he did there is insane. So I'd love to see those two go at it a little bit at a time.
Interesting.
It would be. All right, so time for our segment, the 3 count. I'm going to have a sound and everything. It's going to be beautiful. Just imagine it. First thing that you wanted to talk about. Well, and let me explain how this is going to happen so that way you understand it. I'm going to pick a thing. You're going to pick a thing. And then we mutually agree on a thing. So this time I asked you for 2 things, and I agreed with both of them. I think both of them are great things to talk about. So that's what we went with. First one you want to talk about the New Day. Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston happened on Monday Night Raw Netflix.
The match itself does not matter. The match itself was irrelevant.
Well, I mean, it kind of does because it leads to some funny stuff too.
It started backstage.
It did start backstage. I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
Starts backstage with Kofi and Woods talking to JBL. And basically talking about having to drop dead weight, talking about Ron Simmons. And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's like his best friend. What?
Right.
And then Kofi, he put $2 in JBL's pocket to get him to talk nice about them. Like, $2 for JBL?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't seen that man's limo? And then, of course, they're out there, and he's not doing it at all. And Kofi's like, "Give me my $2."
And didn't even let him give it back. He like reached in the pocket and yanked his money back. And Kofi out there in the tightest jeans I think I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not sure what's going on there. I will say I do love what they're doing with their entrance because it's just like the music hit and you just hear Woods as loud as me, no, we told you we ain't doing this, shut that off, we're not walking out here to something Big E's talking on, and then proceeds to talk with no music all the way to the ring. Genius.
I'm good with this. Yes.
So genius. I know you said the match didn't matter, but I do feel like if we're going to talk about the New Day, we got to talk about what all they did. So he did face Rey Mysterio. The jewel of this match wasn't even the match itself. It was JBL on commentary, who was having a hard time because he's trying not to talk nice about Rey Mysterio either. So he's talking about the deadbeat dad situation as well as talking about the New Day and their crap. So them going back and forth. Little stat though, this is the first match in 16 years these two have had together. Like, good Lord, how have they stayed away from each other that long? Post match got heated though. New Day attempted to do a 2-on-1 beatdown. The rest of LWO came out.
If we get Woods and Kofi against those other two kids that I can't remember the name right now.
Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro.
Yeah, DJZ and that other guy.
Yeah.
We'll
never get rid of DJZ.
It's gonna give those guys a good rub because they're in the ring with Woods and Kofi.
It will give them a good rub. I'm worried for Joaquin Wilde, because he recently did an interview on a podcast. I forget the name of the podcast to save my life, but it's the one with the three brothers. I know you've seen that podcast a couple of times because I've retweeted stuff from them.
You talking about the one with Clayton Thomas?
No.
CT? Then I don't know.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Clayton Thomas. That's not Ice Cube's boy, right? Clayton Thomas is the other one.
No, you're thinking of
Clayton Thomason. Yeah, that one. I'm horrible at names. I'm terrible with names. So sorry. But anyway, so Joaquin Wilde did an interview on his podcast, and he admitted something to them that I never knew, and that's he's not Latino. And the fact that you said those words, I feel bad for you because I think Woods is going to attach to that. In one of these promos, he'll be like, "Why are you even in there?" I didn't hear the rest of the clip. He was like, "I'm in there because of a technicality because I have a tattoo right here that says LWO." It just cracked me up when I heard that. But yeah, I'm afraid that they're going to tear him apart for that.
Hang on. First of all, his real name is Michael Paris. Okay, he's white. He was born in L.A.
I mean, that pushes him a little bit more on the Hispanic side. That's
No.
the name is still white as hell.
He's been wrestling for 20 years.
Well, yeah, you mentioned DJZ. That was a long ass time ago. We're old, sweetheart. I know
He
you
won a
forget that.
contest. He won a contest to design the first logo for ROH.
Yeah.
Which they used from 2002 to 2004.
Yep. He said that in a different interview. I forget which one that was.
I'd heard that too.
The next thing you want to talk about is you want to talk about the Bayley and Roxanne situation, which then we have to talk about Bayley and Nia Jax. But
well, first of all, we need to talk about the fact that Roxanne kicked that poor woman in the head.
And I like I didn't ask you about it because I knew you would have seen it, but like everybody else I talked to, nobody saw it. And I'm just like, hopefully that girl's a plant. Like, because usually they plant a few local people around the wrestler in case something happens. But I don't know, because she fell quick. Like, she got kicked in the face and was just down.
She went down. She took it like a champ, but
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was the Bayley Roxanne thing is just, and apparently it continued tonight with Bayley and Julia and Roxanne and Cora. So I'm like, this is going to give all of them so much. Julia doesn't need it specifically,
right?
But it's going to give all of them just more credibility.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to give NXT more credibility too, because while she's down there, any of her promos are going to talk about how like she rocked out Brooklyn and all that, like that she started here in the Four Horsemen. Like, there's going to be a whole thing about her being from there. I kind of wonder if we'll get like a flashback Bayley at some point, just for fun.
If she comes out as the hugger with the Bayley buddies, which she murdered at that one point.
Mm-hmm.
But if she comes out with that, I think it'd get a pretty good response.
I think it would too. And especially like she's not under contract anywhere. Call Izzy up. Have her in the front row. Just for fun.
Put her there ringside. Since she's training, you could actually get her involved.
Yeah. Oh, she's more than training. I think she's got a title.
She's killing it
right now.
She's killing it. Yeah.
But so Nia Jax was in a fight with Bayley. Bayley was hilarious in this match. First of all, she hit the Annihilator on Nia Jax. And then when Nia Jax kicked out, she hopped up on the second rope and did the Bayley elbow. Like, yeah. She was so great in this match.
Yeah, it was a great match start to finish.
I know I'm not one to talk because I'm not one to look at. I love what Nia's been doing lately. And she's looking great. We need to retire the lobster outfit. Because there was just no making that look good. I'm sorry. But
you're not wrong.
So the entire match, Jax actually worked a body part. She worked her injured arm. That was kind of the story through the match, is that Bayley had an injured arm. She tried to put the Bayley to belly on. Couldn't do it because her arm was hurt. Ends up getting hit with a wicked Annihilator. That always looks so painful. But yeah, no, the whole fun part of the match is Roxanne Perez being at ringside, and then at one point they get into a scuffle between the two of them, and Roxanne just flailing like a 2-year-old in Target, and kicked this lady in the head, and this lady just dropped like a sack of potatoes. So hopefully that lady's okay, or hopefully she was a plant.
She probably got to go backstage and stuff.
I hope so.
So Bayley was in the ring and Julia came out.
Okay.
It's just on NXT earlier.
After that
Said
match,
she wanted to be in. Said she wanted to be in an NXT because of Bailey.
nice. I'm not sure how true that is, but that's nice. I'm pretty sure the dollar signs helped with that. To close off that match, Rhea Ripley came down, and we got like a Pier 6 brawl between her and Nia. And then, in the greatest voice I think I've ever heard Rhea say, she said she wants her at Saturday night's main event. So apparently we're going to get Saturday night main event Rhea versus Nia for her title. I think that's going to be a good testament to put Rhea back on track. I think that's what that is supposed to be for. Because with her being gone for so long, people are kind of questioning her being on top. I think her having a hard-fought battle with Nia, putting her down pretty handily, I think will help with that a lot.
Yeah.
The third thing, what I wanted to talk about, is I had one visceral reaction during Monday Night Raw, and it was CM Punk. First of all, I forget the girl's name. Let me see if Jackie Redmond. So Jackie Redmond is a hockey announcer.
She works for the company, but
she does work for the company.
She does
both. I just want to say that, like, she fits in perfect. Like, she is so good. I like the fact that we brought back the back to the crowd interview. So just having the crowd behind CM Punk while he's talking to the camera. I've always enjoyed those. I loved when those were in the 80s and you had the little platform that they would walk up on. You see the entire arena behind the wrestler. I don't know why we ever did away with them, but I'm glad we did that on this one. But I texted you because that to me, that is CM Punk. We have not had him back yet. That solidified him coming back, because the things he threw out there of like talking shit about Seth Rollins, talking shit about Drew McIntyre, popping off with, if Hulk Hogan wants to get his dusty ass out here in the Royal Rumble, I'll throw his ass out too and kill Hulkamania for good. Good Lord, man. No one is safe.
So good. Sorry, I had to blow my nose.
You're fine. But he even teased on cashing in a favor from Reigns to win the match. So, like, he was just so good. He was on another level. Just showing a masterclass of how to do a promo. Hopefully he stays healthy.
That is definitely one of those things that, first of all, that picture you have of me is so awful. The one that came up when I turned my camera off. Did you see it? That's so bad.
You never given me a new
like
one.
I have a Facebook that you can steal a picture from at any point.
Okay, first of all, we never text, so I forgot I had that picture for you. Second of all, because we never text. It's either this or Messenger.
That's fair. That's you real for that. That's fine.
Call me out like that. Sorry, you were saying.
I'm a little giggly.
First of all,
why would I do that? Oh, look who showed up. Why would I want to do that? That's no fun. What was I talking about?
We were talking about CM Punk.
Oh, yeah, that's one of those things that they're gonna come back to as this is how you do it.
Yeah. I'll guarantee you he didn't have any like directive as far as what he was going to say or what he had to say. He just went out there. He had maybe bullet points, but like he just went out there and did it. He just said what he needed to say. Talked about all the big names that were going to be in it. Even said like he doesn't even want to talk about Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn's not on his level. Like, he was making no friends in this promo.
I thought that was a little rough. I wonder if it comes down to him and Roman, if the favor, Roman just eliminates himself.
I hope not.
That's fair. No, you 100% could have. Could have absolutely sang that for that promo. It was so good.
Yeah, absolute masterclass. Well, so that's it for the 3 count. Is there anything else you want to talk about wrestling wise that has happened?
Not off the top of my head.
Off the top of your head? All right.
There's not a lot there at the moment, so
that's okay.
I gotta let the dog out.
Okay. I'm not gonna make the mistake of talking shit while she's gone. I learned my lesson with that.
Yeah, you did.
So I we'll talk about that just kind of in the show. Pretty short one tonight. I don't want to keep you too long. You're not feeling well, and we don't have a lot to talk about otherwise. But we will talk about. We do got a special crossover episode coming up on the 30th. It's the Friday before the Royal Rumble. We're doing a draft wars type of things. I think like NFL draft, but for the Royal Rumble, with the Run In Wrestling podcast, with Sped, and I don't know who else is there yet because
I know John's one of them, isn't he?
Is John one of them? I haven't
yeah,
heard.
He put out the whole thing today. There it is.
Oh, okay. I just saw I saw Big Mike say he was officially
Cinco
in it.
Squad podcast.
Okay.
Chair shot. Yeah, it's John A is one of them. Us and Spud.
Okay. Sped. All right. That's cool.
Yeah, Morgan, if you want a good laugh, let's send to that video.
Yeah. Go check out our Twitter, Morgan. That'll give you a good little laugh.
Morgan, that's what it is. You figured this out. No,
Absolutely.
It's because I got a shot in my shoulder today, and I took a pain pill, and I'm feeling it.
A little woozy. But so we got that coming up. So we'll be happy that as we go along. I have no problem bringing home the crown. I appreciate that you're going to be there though to help support me, but
Look, the only reason you're bringing it home is because you're carrying it for me, like I've carried you in our friendship all these years.
Apparently my cat is mad. My child is even madder.
Okay.
Come here before I cook you. Go put you in a pot. Miss Morgan. Ma'am, this is a Denny's. All right. Are you okay now? Oh, I'm sorry. There was another story that I completely missed. Actually, a couple. I don't know how I missed them. So first of all, Ilja Dragunov is said to be he was seen in the Performance Center, kind of warming up. So that means his injury's probably over. We could see him back in the ring fairly soon. I know you don't care.
Nope,
ma'am. Our mascot back there flipping us off. That's messed up.
What? He called you our mascot, bro.
Okay.
Well, Jess has a dog. We have a gremlin.
We have a gremlin.
Also, AJ Francis. So he just had a match with Brandon Collins, excuse me. Brandon Collins is a YouTuber. He is the Brandon Does Everything podcast as well. He's part of a YouTube group called Vibe. This makes the 4th influencer that AJ Francis has wrestled against. And he has said that he is more than willing to continue doing that. In fact, actually, he called out Santi, which we were both kind of fans of. So that'd be kind of fun. The interview that he said this in, though, was with SRS himself, and he also called him out. So we may get to see Sean Ross Sapp get chokeslammed by AJ Francis. Which,
as long as he doesn't try to dive over the top.
Yeah. I am intrigued because he is in TNA. So I want to see him try to, get in the Royal Rumble, which, like, he'd win because he can't get over the top rope.
So NXT posted a thing that saying Bailey's here, and Cora retweeted it with a thing that says she doesn't even go here.
Well, her best friend showed up in TNA at Genesis. Cora Jade popped up over there. So apparently we're looking at Cora Jade versus Masha Slamovich. Cora's going to get her ass beat.
I'm going to need you to see if you can find Genesis because I want to watch that, or whatever that was last night.
Genesis? Yeah. I'll take a look for it. I got to hook the server and everything back up because it's down at the moment.
You can tell how much I've looked for it.
You're kind of out of it. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Well, I think we'll go ahead and end it.
What else did you have?
This has been the Limping Along podcast. We appreciate your time. Before you go, an old friend asked Mike for help while Harvey is forced to choose between money and aiding his trusted driver. Next on Suits.
Oh, I've seen that one. Wait, I've seen them all.
I was going to say, I think you've seen them all. That's what makes it even more funny. There. All right, did my stinger. You're good there.
What? Did you have another story that we just didn't do?
No, those were the two. The Ilja Dragunov coming back, and then AJ Francis wants to, attack more YouTubers. I do want to say, so, like,
why can't we get him to attack Logan Paul so we don't have to listen to this dude?
Well, we get him in the Royal Rumble. We could. Maybe that's a setup for it. Maybe him talking about he wants to hit YouTubers.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, why not? All right, well, thank you guys for joining us today. Ma'am.
Ew. Oh, okay.
Well, you know what they say. Tits up. Watch for the shoe.
Chin up. Tits out. Watch for the shoe.
Did you see Tony Schiavone trying to talk her out of that, by the way?
That was so good.
No. Hold on. You're Tony, and I'm Tony. That means it's Tony time. Or he needs snacks. I don't know about Cialis though, but if we could get a Blue Chew advertisement, I'd be good for it. Just saying.
Kaylani going up smacking the shit out of people. It's gonna be a thing. Carmen Petrovich just beat Jada Parker because of Kaylani. What the hell?
Oh.
Okay.
Well, all right. Thank you for joining today's stream. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials down below. Remember that pro wrestling is for everyone. Let's keep building this. Let's keep building this community together. Until next time, I am Michael. With me is Tori. In the chat is Morgan. Our little gremlin's back there in the background. We will catch you.
Say goodbye, gremlin. Say goodbye, gremlin.
We will catch you on the next one. Goodbye.
Here's the cover. Can he do it? Kick out.